All right, there it is. We are live, Lions fans. We took one on the chin today. We lost in Baltimore 38-6. Let's talk about it. Well, son, we just finished watching it. You see it right there on the screen, 38-6.
Yeah.
We lost to Baltimore. I didn't think that we couldn't lose this game, but I'm just surprised that it was a beat down this bad. Before we get into both sides of the balls like we do, let's talk about the injury report real quick. I just saw on Twitter that Khalif Raymond is out with a hamstring. He's questionable. And Kirby Joseph was not he could have went back in the game, but I guess he wasn't hurt enough where he couldn't. So if let's say Khalif isn't able to go in 8 days when we play the Raiders, how much of an impact could that be on the team?
I guess the main impact would really just be on special teams. He tends to be a pretty decent return man. So I guess that for Cleve Raymond, that would really just be his main impact, really. And I guess I'm tripping. He plays receiver, right?
He does, yes.
Yeah. I'll say yeah, and I guess he's that occasional situational receiver. So, but yeah, the main impact would definitely be on special teams, at least in my opinion.
Okay. Well, with a 38-6 loss, I think that you and I should start with the defense. Son, what went wrong today on defense?
See, I guess you could say everything. We didn't talk about, well, I wasn't on the preview, but maybe you brought this up. I remember we talked about in our review from the last game, we literally said, dang, we know they're going to be able to stop the run game, which they did. But we said, and I specifically brought up Odell Beckham too, but I said if they let Lamar Jackson, which I guess that's obvious, if they let Lamar Jackson cook, they're going to lose the game for sure. So off that first drive, you can kind of, I don't know how to explain it. You can tell that game wasn't going to go good on that first drive.
Correct.
Yeah. Second, I saw Lamar Jackson looking like regular old Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I was like, geez, they did nothing. Everything went wrong. They did nothing to make him uncomfortable. I don't think they got a single sack. Every time we go against a mobile quarterback, I get scared when the pocket breaks down because all they do is step up in the pocket. Patrick Mahomes did the same thing. That's why I say, really, I'm not saying we should have lost to the Chiefs, but Patrick Mahomes was able to move around as much as he wants to because our linemen are not athletic enough to get after the quarterback like that. So, and then people are blaming Aaron Glenn, saying that he wasn't running the right scheme. Guys, what are you talking about?
Right.
The corners, I'm sorry, but he can't play man to man. Obviously, that's why he doesn't have him pressing him. If he had him pressing him, he would still get burnt. I mean, the scheme has nothing to do with Will Harris getting, like, I don't know how to explain it. In off man, we can accept like a 5 yard gain, but you're not also supposed to let the dude, like, how are you letting a dude get 20 yards behind you too? But and you're already 10 yards off the line. So it was a lot of stuff. I was confused why the middle of the field was so open. Yeah, I don't know. Marcus
Well,
playing us as well.
let's break the defense down. Let's start with what went wrong. Let's start from the front to the back. Let's start with the down linemen, the edge rushers, and the defensive tackles. I'll tell you what I saw, son. Number one, that right tackle for the Ravens, and I mentioned that on our Twitter page. By the way, anyone following us on our Twitter page, it could be me, it could be my son. We both respond on there, so it could be one of us posting. Just to throw that out there, but I said on the Twitter page that Aiden Hutchinson was being held pretty much every play by that right tackle. I mean, that right tackle could not contain him, and only a couple of times did they call holding. I thought for the most part the defensive line wasn't that bad, but let me see, son. Even though I thought that we did a decent job on the run, we did give up over 100 yards, and I want to say in the last 4 games we have not. 64 to Gus Edwards, 46 to Justice Hill. Lamar Jackson had 36. Did you see anything that maybe I didn't see on the D line? I mean, what would you, if you had to give them a grade, what would you give the D line?
Or I give him a D because,
Okay,
like I said, in my opinion, they did decent against the run. I feel like some of these runs came later in the game as they were just getting whooped
that's
on,
true.
basically.
That's true.
So I give them a D because I mean, I guess they didn't do that decent against the run. but they did terrible against the pass. Like I said, I don't. He didn't even. No, Lamar Jackson wasn't even close to taking a sack. Actually, he was standing. He was chilling in the pocket. He looked like a pocket passer. Basically, he
Oh
basically
yeah.
did whatever he wanted to do. So I would have to give him a D just because they did so terrible against the pass.
Okay, and then what about the linebackers? You know, the linebackers had to cover tight ends. They had to cover underneath. They had to also watch Lamar Jackson. What did you think about our linebackers?
I have to give them a D too. Honestly, it just was. It just seems like it's complete confusion with the linebackers and pass defense. They bit on that Lamar Jackson run every single time. that's why Mark. That's why his name is Mark Andrews. Right? That's why Mark
Mark
Andrews.
Andrews.
Yeah, that's why he was open so much. They because I'm looking at it right now. All he would do was act like he's blocking, and then he'll just like leak into the middle of the field, and he'll be wide open.
Yes, we're definitely going to agree on that. Now, son, this is what I said on the preview show. I said that what our defense has to do is that you have to collapse the pocket on Lamar Jackson, but you have to collapse it in the middle. You cannot allow him to run between the tackles. And every time Lamar Jackson took off, it was in between the tackles.
Mm,
And why is that dangerous?
Yeah,
Because if you allow a running quarterback to run between the tackles, the linebackers generally are going to be in some type of a zone. What does that mean? They're going to be 10 yards off the ball. What does that mean with a fast quarterback? That means he's going to get 8 to 12 yards. So you have to collapse it in the middle. So what was happening was Hutch and our other edge, they were hitting the tackles on their outside shoulder. And by the time they're ready to spin in, Lamar Jackson sees that and he can take off. So I think that's what hurt us there. Now, let's talk about the DBs. I'm talking about the corners and the safeties. What was up?
I mean, on and maybe I wasn't looking at Cam's son. Maybe he was still locking down. To be honest, I don't remember because I didn't really see him too much. The guy who I saw was Will Harris.
Mm,
Like that's the guy who I saw. Uh, I really don't know. Cam's son must have been getting cooked too. There's no way it was on Will Harris. I'm still trying to like I just don't know if I don't know if I can't read the defense quick enough. I just could not tell if we were playing zone or man sometimes. So it's really hard for me to like figure out like what they're thinking on some of those plays. Cause a lot of the times Tracy Walker would just let the tight end or receiver run right across his face and he's not even guarding anybody. So I don't really understand what's going on in defense. And I get that you have your assignments, but I just figured it'd be I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an NFL safety, but I guess I figured it'd be common sense to go and pick up that guy because it's not like there's anyone else over there anyways. So I don't know. I mean, what I do know is I would give up anything, like I said, to get Patrick Surtain. I mean, people are talking about Chase Young and stuff, I guess, but I mean, I think they need a corner more than anything because, like you said, the line is. I mean, I guess the line is decent. I guess, but this
right.
just shows that we really need a lockdown corner. I mean,
Okay. And I'm gonna get a DB as a F.
yeah.
They were terrible. And yes, on Twitter, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like on the Twitter page, there were a lot of Lions fans going in on Will Harris. They said that Will Harris got replaced by Khalil Dorsey in the second half, and a lot of Lions fans were saying, "Bro, we should have put Khalil Dorsey in the second quarter." People
Okay.
were saying Will Harris was getting cooked. I hate to dump on the young man like that, but I mean, but he was. You know, he was out there getting cooked a lot, and this is what I saw with the DBs: confusion on the second or third. I don't remember which one it was. Ravens touchdown of the game, son. And you know how I feel about Brian Branch. Brian Branch was in man on Aguilar. He was on man. What happened is when he followed him into the end zone, for some reason there was a receiver coming across the middle of the end zone, and there was a corner right behind him. I don't remember which corner. For some reason, Brian Branch stopped and looked to his left, like,
Oh,
oh, should I cover that guy? And guess what happened? Aguilar kept going, and he was 5 yards in front of him. Lamar Jackson saw it, hit him in the back of the end zone. If Brian Branch would have stayed on him, he would have had him covered. So it seems like it's still confusion with the DBs.
okay, wait, because I feel like he must have got cooked. Was it that play where that guy stopped, started, and then went again, like to the corner? That is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, no, no.
He
Aguilar
got
went straight
twice.
to the back of the end zone, and all Brian Branch had to do was stay with him and play man.
Okay,
But
wow.
he stopped like, oh, I should be playing zone. And he looked to the
Yeah.
left real quick. And when he did, Jackson saw it and just threw it to the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the I mean, no offense, we're talking about Jared Goff MVP, but Lamar Jackson just showed you what an MVP plays like. I'm not like, dang, that's the best I've
Uh,
ever seen him play.
he was phenomenal. 21 for 27, three touchdowns, no sacks, no interceptions, 357 yards. And he spread the ball out to it looks like every single receiver on the team. It looks like.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah,
Nobody had over five receptions,
yeah.
and he still was cooking. Lamar Jackson, I got to give. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. He was excellent in that game. And what happened was this: you could tell that they studied what the Lions may do. Lamar Jackson would what he would do is this. I know it's on quite a few plays. He would come up to the line like he was going to run. He would stop, and then our linebacker, whether it was Anzalone or Campbell or Tracy Walker, they would come up. He would see that, and then they always had Odell Beckham or somebody sitting right there in the middle of the field,
Mm.
just sitting right there. That's how the big fullback Ricard. That's how he was getting open. What I didn't understand was this: how come Greg Olson was one of the commentators, former NFL tight end, right? Greg
Mm.
Olson said himself, bro, the Lions need to start playing man. They have to come up and challenge these corners. They have to get out of that zone. And we just stayed in the zone.
Yeah, and like I said, people are saying that. Hey, I think it's because them quarters can't play, man. I don't think they can. I think that's why he's not doing it. But I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
I have to agree with you on that. Okay, we beat up on the defense enough. Let's talk about our offense. We put up 6 points. Let's look at some of these statistics, son. Jared Goff, 33 of 53 for 284 yards. He threw that interception. The commentators were saying that they thought that that might have been on JMO, that he and JMO are just not on the same page yet. Gibbs, 11 carries for 68 yards. He finally gets his first touchdown. They finally started in the second half using Gibbs the way they should.
Yeah.
Receiving, Amon St. Brown, no surprise, 13 for 102. Gibbs had also had 9 receptions, followed by Sam Laporta and then a few other guys. Let's start with quarterback Jared Goff. What was your thoughts on Jared Goff?
Honestly, I think he actually looked pretty bad actually today, to be
Mm,
honest. I mean, I know, like there was some bad communication and stuff, but there's really nothing that he did was good. All he did was remind me, and I can't stand when he reminds me how unathletic he is. And then it just seems like his vision isn't that good. Like it seems like it's every week now that we're always hearing about some guy that's wide open on the other side of the field. Like the commentators were talking about that
right.
when Jared Goff had to roll out. I mean, other quarterbacks can like look down the field when they're rolling out and stuff. But Jared Goff is like so slow that I don't know. I guess he can't look down the field and run at the same time or something. Like like that's the crucial difference with our team. The second the pocket breaks down, we know the play is over because he can't do anything. But
Right.
with other teams, when the pocket breaks down, we know that they still have a chance. So, yeah. And then, I mean, no, I don't know. That's my main problem with Jared Goff, I guess. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you said that you said something along the lines that we need to, because he dropped back like 44 times, and you're saying if he drops back more than that, that'd be bad. He dropped back 53 times this
He
time.
did. Right. Exactly.
So,
Which is where we're going next. Let's talk about the running backs. I read the stats off to you. Jameer Gibbs, 11 carries for 68 yards. Craig Reynolds, 3 for 16. What is your? I'm gonna let you go first, son. What is your take on on our running backs and the running back position?
I mean, at first, I really was getting frustrated. Like in the first half, I really was getting frustrated with the whole Gibbs thing because as our corners and our defensive line was getting cooked, it just reminded me that we could have had, a guy like Jalen Carter and stuff. But then he finally started to show some flashes in the second half when the Lions started utilizing him more. So maybe that makes me want to take it back. But I still want to see him used in more ways like that. Like in the first half, they were just using him in such boring plays, and like it's so
Right.
I don't know. It's not obvious. No, it is obvious sometimes when he's going to get the ball, and then it's just that same boring dive play or something like that. But like you said, they need to run him on sweeps. And was that sweep out the shotgun that he scored the touchdown on?
No, no. If I remember right, it was out. Jared Goff just turned and tossed it to him.
Oh, okay, okay,
Old school sweep.
yeah, okay. Well, either way, I mean, yeah, I guess the running backs. I don't know. I didn't even know Gibbs had that many yards. To be honest, I thought he had like 50. But yeah, I guess the running backs didn't look absolutely terrible. But
Okay.
Mm,
Well,
we need to hear from Montgomery.
I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking watching that game. Now, this is probably not gonna happen. I actually read an article like 2 days ago that talked about the trade deadline, and the guy who wrote the article said that he would be absolutely surprised if the Lions did not make a move. That the Lions didn't try to do something before the trade deadline.
Well, for a running back or a corner?
No, they named a lot of positions, but one of the guys that I heard about was Derrick Henry. And now this was just another guy talking, but I got to be honest on as I'm watching this game and I'm seeing second and one, third and one. You know what I'm thinking? Man, if we had Derrick Henry in the backfield, if
Mhm.
we had a big 250-pound running back who has a decent amount of speed, who can bang up the middle of the line, would that could have made a difference? Because I saw second and ones turn into third and six when you could have handed up when you could hand it off to a banger of a running back to go up the middle. Now I know that's probably not going to happen, but I'm just saying that's what I was thinking. I do agree. I hope that they found something with Gibbs here, and going forward we can use that. Now, what about speaking? Let's move forward before we get to the receivers. What about the offensive line? These guys were saying all in the first halves that this is one of the best offensive lines in the league. What did you think about our offensive line today? Was it more a issue of Jared Goff, who got sacked 5 times, not getting rid of the ball, or was it maybe the receivers not getting open, or did the offensive line just meet their match today and just have had a bad day?
No, honestly, I was about to say it was golf, but no, the Ravens were actually cooking that offensive line. I don't know if they were blitzing or what, but
Some
they
plays.
seemed to have so much speed off the edge. Like every time they had a lot of speed coming off the edge. But no, I think it was more Jared Goff than anything. I mean, if you look at the run game, they had their I mean, I guess it was better than what we thought. Like they were averaging 6 yards a carry.
Hmm.
So clearly they weren't doing that bad. I mean, they gave up 5 sacks. I would have to say two or three of those sacks was probably on golf though. I mean, because there was so much like miscommunication with the receivers and stuff. I really didn't understand what was going on.
Hmm.
So no, I mean, I would give the offensive line like a B, I guess, C plus.
Okay, okay. And what about the receivers? What did you think about the receivers?
See, I mean, we did so bad. I didn't even realize Amon St. Brown had
13 catches.
and 102 yards. I mean, but honestly, and Josh Reynolds, I got to give that dude his props. Finally, he's catching the ball. He's finally catching the ball, and he actually is. He's been our big yardage guy, not Jamison Williams. And there was
Hmm.
something that I think Greg Olson or the other guy was talking about with JMO, which right now he wasn't. He didn't say this specifically, but I'm summing up what he said. Basically, JMO can only go on deep. He's only good for deep balls because he's
Hmm.
not a polished receiver. Basically, the dude was politely saying basically that his route tree isn't really that developed yet, and that's what the Lions are trying to do. And he was just mentioning how he's basically still work in progress, and that him and Jared Goff need to work on their connection. But I mean, one of the throws that Jared Goff, I mean, I'm sorry, but James Williams literally looks like me and like JV and stuff. Like he's fast, but this dude can't. Like literally, like the ball hit him right in the helmet.
I
I mean,
saw that.
that's some goofy stuff. Like, come on,
I
dude.
saw that.
And then the other play, he streaking down the field and he just dropped the ball.
Didn't catch
It's
it.
an end zone shot. So that's like,
Hit
dang,
him in the hands.
man.
Even if he would have caught that ball and failed, he probably would have rolled into the end zone because he was at like the 3 yard line.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't. I mean, Sam Laporta looked good as always. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll talk about that when we talk about the wrap up. I think people are comparing this to the Panthers game, but to me, this was different. This was just a total beatdown. The Panthers game
right,
was a fluke because they had like 300. Like you don't expect a team to have 300 yards rushing, but no,
right,
they
right.
just they cooked us. Like I can't see us beating the Ravens now. I don't. But I'll talk more about that later. Actually,
Okay. And well, let me see. Did we get? Yeah, that's everything on the offense. So let's give a recap. Let's give a final recap on this game. What's your final takeaway from this game?
uh, I guess my final takeaway would be not to panic.
Hmm.
But yeah, that'd be my final takeaway.
Yeah, it would be mine too. Greg Olson, or I don't remember if it was Greg or the other commentator. He said, "Listen, man, Lions fans have no need to panic. Listen, people, this is the NFL." So I found myself. Don't ask me, son, why I was doing this, but on Twitter, I actually found myself arguing, going back and forth with a Vikings fan. some weirdo Vikings fan was actually talking about how the Lions are frauds, and then we all found out he was a Vikings fan. And I'm like, bro, why are you even watching this game, worrying about what we're doing? You guys are gonna get swept by us anyway. You
Right.
guys, the Packers and the Bears. Listen, the Ravens are a top 10 team. It is what it is. I mean, it's the NFL. People are gonna lose sometime. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because look at these final scores right here, son. I mean, the Giants beat the Commanders. I thought the Giants have been playing terrible. The Patriots beat the Bills. The Bears beat the Raiders at home with Bajent, their number 2 quarterback in the game. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
NFL, people. I mean, teams are gonna lose. I'm sorry, that's just what's gonna happen sometimes. Yes, the Lions got beat down. Yes, it was an old-fashioned butt kicking, but I think that is no need to panic. I just think that we had a bad day. And my final take on it would be this, son. If you look at our schedule, Greg Olson brought this up during the broadcast. He said, bro, if you look at the Lions schedule, the Lions only play one winning team the rest of the season, and that's the Cowboys. And he said it right there. The Lions have an easy schedule the rest of the way. So we're still going to win the North. And I just think it's nothing to panic about. I think it's just time to go back to the drawing board. Let's get this win against the Raiders and go into the bye week 6-2. That's my takeaway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I was, and I was going to speak more about that. I was going to say, yeah, because I wrote some notes. Because I thought we played the Chargers next week, but they are, in my opinion, if they do want to stay relevant, they will have to beat the Raiders and the Chargers. Because if they don't beat, if especially if they don't beat the Chargers, I don't think they'll make it out the wild card. Because like I said, I
Right.
think I'm not panicking, but I sure don't think, uh, I don't think they're. I'll give it one more game, but I doubt they'll make the NFC Championship. I mean, they got absolutely torched. As I don't know, because that's a playoff game right there, to be honest. So, are the Ravens in the AFC?
The Ravens are, yes.
Okay,
And that's still a playoff team. So you're right. You
yeah,
know, if you look at this schedule, son, the rest of the way, we just lost to the Ravens. They're going to be a playoff team. The Chargers are a borderline playoff team. The Saints are a borderline playoff team, and the Cowboys are a playoff team. So to me, those are the three games we're looking at. And yes, I don't care how the Saints are much improved, but I think that's a game that we have to win. I mean, if you look at these games, these are all, in my opinion, must-win games. I mean, I'm sorry to be disrespectful, but we shouldn't lose to the Packers. We shouldn't lose either time to the Bears or either time to the Vikings. That's 5 wins right there.
yeah.
Now granted, we could split with the Vikings. I could see that we could split with the Vikings, but I agree with you, son. The Raiders at home next week on Monday Night Football. Then coming off the bye week, we're at the Chargers. I think we have to win that game. I think that Chargers game is a must win. If you lose to the Chargers, yeah, I'm gonna feel the same way. You're not gonna get it. We're not even gonna get out of the wild card.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's what I also was saying, not to panic. I mean, because like you were talking about those scores, the
Hmm.
Bills on October 1st beat the Dolphins by 28 points. I mean, they beat them 48-20. I'm sure I can find a game where the Bills just got smoked, and I can find a game where the
Right.
Ravens got smoked. The Ravens got smoked. Remember, the commentators about this, they got smoked by Dorian Thompson Robinson, 28-3.
Right.
That's a rookie. So, like you're saying, everyone drops games, and I guess it really depends. This will really show us how good the Lions are. We'll see how they respond against the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yep, I agree. But you know what? How I feel, son. This is just one of those days, man. We took it on the chin, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
The Lions weren't gonna go 16-1, like I said to somebody earlier. We had a couple losses coming, but let's just beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. One guy actually responded to my tweet and said, "Bro, are you guys are celebrating beating, basically, the Falcons, the Packers, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers." And I responded back and said, "We're supposed to beat those teams. No, nobody's bragging about those wins. We're
Yeah.
supposed to beat those teams." That's all I was saying. Anyway, these Lions fans, that's it. We took it on the chin. I mean, pretty much that's all we have on it. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can keep talking Lions football. The YouTube channel. If you look on the ticker, there's our Twitter/X page. Go over there and follow us. Subscribe on our YouTube page. Let's have fun with it. Comment on it. And right there on the screen, you see our TikTok. That's it, Lions fans. 38-6. We fall in Baltimore. Anything else, son?
No. Let's
Okay.
just get the Raiders.
That's right. Let's go. Let's get the Raiders. Other than that, that's all we have. Peace.
Peace.